And now, Freelance Heroism presents Return to Ravenloft.
Hey everybody, welcome to Freelance Heroism. My name is Dees.
And I'm Rachel.
And before I even get started, we just want to say thank you to everyone out there who donates at the Patreon, in particular those who donate at the producer tier.
Mhm.
Rachel, would you like to let us know who they are?
I would love to. We want to say thank you to Duncan, Crispy, Nate, Breakmeister, and Rebecca. Thank you so much, everyone.
Crispy bacon. Sorry, can't help it. Okay, so we were talking about evil player, or well, not evil players.
That's different.
Evil characters hidden within good parties.
Yes.
And how that's very interesting.
Yes, it is.
So we were talking about that, and sort of like there's lots of different ways. We're not going to get into the sort of the like details of how to hide your alignment. There are a lot of different ways for that to happen.
Yeah.
Hidden in plain sight works perfectly fine. We don't want to get into the nuts and bolts of it.
Yeah.
But I wanted to tell a story about a character that I had that was an evil character in plain sight of a good party for the entire playthrough.
Oh, okay.
All the way up until at the very end, and had to hide all kinds of murders and evil tasks. Right? Anyway.
Okay.
So I played a good character named Desires the Ironborn for a long, long time. Right? I played him and I played his son. His son was one of two sons named Desires, and his son of elvish descent was named Nirandir.
Mm-hmm.
And both of them were main characters in this group that we had playing through the second portion of Rise of the Rune Lords.
Okay.
So this is in Pathfinder. Nirandir is a sorcerer with a fire bloodline, and was literally almost exclusively a caster of fire magics.
Mm-hmm.
And he was sort of frail and sort of like that Karaman Raceland kind of vibe. His brother was a very strong armored class character, but he would always be kind of sarcastic, and his brother would always defend his sort of grim outlook on the world.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were brothers and they loved each other and he trusted him.
Right.
All the while, he was the most evil person ever who harbored a deep resentment for his brother for the entire game. Ooh. And for his father more than anything. So multiple times we would walk into a place and Nirandir would run up ahead or be researching something. We went to this research like sort of spire, this tower where they do research on sort of what do they call it? Gizmo magic. I'm having a hard time finding the word.
Like artificer?
Artificers, thank you.
Okay.
I could not find that word. So they went up into this like kind of clock tower-esque spire where all these artificers were working on things, and during our break, our group where we break into individual groups and go kind of interview people.
Right.
I went to talk to a guy and he wouldn't give me the information I wanted. So I used my mask to turn him to stone and then push him over.
Oh my God.
And he shattered into a bunch of pieces, and the team heard the crash and they came running to see what had happened. And because he had shattered so completely, nobody could tell it looked like the form of a human, and so nobody thought anything of it.
Oh.
And I was able to get away with a murder literally 10 feet away from every person in my group.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a pretty bold move. But because he was so evil and knew the group so well, nobody ever questioned it. They just thought, oh, he's a little edgy.
Right.
He's a fire sorcerer. What are you going to do? He's fiery and he says fucked up shit, but he never would do any of those things.
He's got a good heart deep down.
Right. He did not. And fast forward a while into another game, he was killed and put on the wall of prisoners.
Uh-huh.
You know, like that hell wall in Pathfinder?
No, I've never heard of this.
Okay, so there's this wall where people who commit great evils, like really next level evils,
Mhm.
are taken and placed in this wall, right, where they have to sit and atone and look over the world.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway, so he was there and then was pulled from the wall, like sort of released by some cultists later on, and
Ooh.
came back to the world and decided that he wanted to set the world on fire, burn it in effigy.
Mhm.
So that's what he did. He started just burning his way through like wherever he went, there was like a wake of fire and burning, and he just
Oh.
would walk into a city and destroy everyone.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah. And so a new group of adventurers had to stop him. And this is a whole nother group of players that had to stop my old evil fire sorcerer, who had at this point become fucking deity level.
Uh-huh.
I think mythic levels is what they call it in Pathfinder.
Yeah.
And it was very bad. It was very bad for the group. It was a big bad end game that I played as a hidden evil in our group.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So you just had an experience with an evil character.
I did. I don't know if, I guess from certain perspectives they would be considered
That is the
evil.
best way to describe an evil character. You're inhabiting that headspace. Do you know what I mean?
So
I wouldn't call them evil so much as to say
my home game for the last couple games, some of my players couldn't make it, so we decided I was like, somebody else run something. I want to break. I want to be a player. So one of my players stepped up and he ran a one-shot for the Alien RPG.
Right.
And so we're talking about it like a week or two before the game actually starts. And I work with him. So I was talking with him and I was like, hey, is there any way I can be an android? And he's like, you could be a secret android. And I was like, deal. I want to be the secret android. And so what everyone thought my character was that I was the pilot and that we worked for Weyland-Yutani, and we were on like sort of this long haul, travel through space. We'd been like in cryo and
using the lingo. She's deep in that universe.
So I was the pilot. I was when you get these characters, you get like a buddy and maybe a rival. And I was buddies with the captain, which is excellent. Perfect. It's the captain. So, everyone thought that I was just this pilot. We all work for Weyland-Yutani. In reality, I am an android sent by Bionational, which is a rival company of Weyland-Yutani.
Right.
And the androids in the Alien universe, typically, like, just looking at them, you can't tell that this is an android. Like,
so let's add context here. In the Alien universe, Weyland-Yutani is the company that is responsible for trying to capture a live xenomorph entity, a queen, or just a couple samples of their biological, so they could amplify it and work on it. And, Anyway,
so we wake up from cryo because we've detected this ship that went missing 70-something years ago.
Right.
And so we've been woken up because we need to check out this ship.
Right. And that's the same plot. You're bound by law to have to, The
way that the Alien RPG game worked was that it's sort of set up in 3 acts. In each act at the beginning, everyone gets basically like a little secret slip of paper that tells you what your character's goals for this act are. So in Act 1, it might be like, check in with so-and-so, repair this thing, whatever. Yeah. So in Act 1, my goal was just whatever the pilot's goal is. Act 2, when we get on this ship that was like checking out an alien planet, and they picked up some spores, and now something weird is happening and a bunch of crew is dead or missing. it activated my Android protocol, my Android mission. And so my Act 2 quest was get as much information about this alien life form as I can to bring it to Bionational.
Right.
So we start meeting some of the NPCs on the ship that managed to survive. They had also been in cryo. I start collecting like badge logins to like read the NPCs' emails to get different information. We meet like a medic who had synthesized this sort of vaccine against the spores. And I was like, well, do you have any additional information? Could you give that to us just so we're aware of what's going on so we can be more prepared? And it was going so well. Like my mission was going perfectly.
Right.
I was getting so much information. I was being so helpful. And the whole time, still, nobody knows that I'm an android. The captain trusts me implicitly. And because the captain has such high access to stuff, anytime he would go to like, like check the like information of the AI on the computer, which is in like this locked room and you need special access to get into.
They would just tell you.
He would be like, I got to go do this. And so I would go, Captain, do you want me to come with you? And he would go, yeah, you come with me. And so I would be in the room while he's getting this information.
Whoa.
Like I was so helpful.
Captain, what the hell are you doing?
So some of the NPCs on the ship, it was like a medic, an officer, and then like this sort of corporate, like not like a CEO, but like someone high in Weyland-Yutani corporate is there.
Right, like their fixer to keep an eye on things.
Yeah. And they start to buddy up with our corporate person and start like trying to get them to go get stuff. And we soon realize in Act 2, this ship is kind of doomed. There's a radiation leak. There's like spores in the air scrubbers. So like in the air filtration system itself, there's like stuff growing.
That's not good.
It's not good. And they had like a science pod, but they had left it on the planet, so they weren't sure how stuff from the science pod had got on the ship. And that was sort of this mystery of like, how did the ship itself get infected? And so at the start of Act 3, my new mission is kill anyone who has too much information about the alien life form, collect all the data, and bring it to Bionational.
Right.
Still at this point, no one knows I am an android.
Yeah.
So one of the things I do, because I'm like, well, who has too much information? Clearly the corporate person.
Right.
But because there are alien life forms on the ship, no one's really going alone. So I need to sow discord among everyone. And so at one point, I'm talking to the medic and I say, well, how did this infection, these spores even get on the ship if it was all isolated to the science pod? Could Clayton, the fixer, could they have snuck something on the ship? Just sort of like planting that paranoia. And everyone's like, yeah, they could have. They seem like someone who would. They're very interested in profit and benefiting the company.
And you're just asking questions.
I'm just asking questions.
Right. You got the Tucker Carlson android. I'm only asking questions here. Could the fixer have brought it on? Mm-hmm.
At one point, our engineer goes to try to fix the radiation leak. There is a half-formed xenomorph creature in there that at first looks dead. Then it rises up. The combat system in the Alien RPG is brutal. It did 1 point of damage to the engineer, which resulted in it snapping his arm.
Right.
And then it snapped his other arm.
As one does. You want to get both arms.
And then the only other player who was there, who was his in real life wife, panicked and ran away. Just left him, did not close the door, did not shoot at the creature, just booked it.
What's funny is that it might have been part of their mission is just survive. And so nobody knew everyone else's goals, right?
No, nobody knew anyone
nobody
else's.
Vocalized it to anybody.
No.
Good.
So we managed to seal it back in. Like, we get the engineer out. We seal the creature in. We are not in any sort of, like...
Danger.
I mean, we're in danger, but we don't have any way to really fight this thing.
Right.
So we have to put the engineer in cryo because both of the medical pods are infected by these spores. They are
Well,
not...
that becomes an easy target for your kill later.
Yeah.
You've essentially crowd controlled one guy.
Right. So then we meet like someone else who started to form. They start attacking our company person who was doing something shady. They had gotten like some of the eggs and they were moving the eggs to go meet up with the other company person who had sent them on this mission. So we show up, we start fighting this half-formed xenomorph. The captain runs in to fight it. So I run in with a fire axe and I hit it. And then it turns around and it punches me. And so that's it's like Act 3. It's the first time I've taken damage. Androids in the alien universe have white blood. So everyone sees this white blood come out of me.
Uh-oh.
And the DM, like, he like describes it very casually. He's like, you get punched, like this white fluid flies out, and then he continues on, and everyone at the table goes, "What? Wait, what is happening?"
Right.
But we're still fighting this thing at the same time. So I continue to defend my captain.
Right.
And then the fight ends, and then everyone's like, "What is happening with her?"
Yeah.
And someone's like, "Do I know?" The medic's like, "Do I know what this is? Can I recognize, like, is she transforming? Is something happening?" And the DM goes, "Yeah, you know what an android is." And everyone's like, "Oh my God." And then the captain goes, "Did I know this?" And he didn't, because I've been
hiding it. Yeah.
I've been hiding it the entire time, and we've been buddies like for years. We've been like traveling together and doing these Weyland-Yutani missions for years. And so he's like, "I need to talk to you." And he like pulls me aside and we have this conversation. And he's like, "Was there ever a Davis, or have you always been like this?" And I'm like, "Well, I've always been like this." And then he goes, "Why didn't you tell me?" Because he's under the impression that I've just been hiding that I'm an android, not that there's any other reason for it. Yeah. I'm still working for this rival company. And so I make up a story. I'm like, well, people aren't always, like welcoming to my kind. And he's
which is a perfect move, because then it makes them less likely to react negatively.
Yeah.
They're trying to be the good point in your story.
Yeah. Well, he's like, "Did I ever do anything to make you think that I wouldn't accept you, to know that you're an android?" And I'm like, "No, but other people might." And he's like, "Okay, well, I'm still going to treat you like my friend because you're still my friend." And I'm like, "You're still my friend too, Captain." And so he leaves it at that. And I thought very briefly about telling him that I work for Biome National, but I'm like, no, this is not the time. No. And so we go back to trying to figure out what's going on. The our corporate person who was stealing the eggs for the other corporate person, there's a stress system in Alien. She is under so much stress that she freaks out under questioning and attacks the captain.
Oh, so that's your targeted evil person.
So at that point, I have my orders to kill anyone who knows too much. I think she knows too much. So internally, I'm like, this is the perfect opportunity
to kill this person in defense of the captain.
Yeah. And we get initiative. I am first in initiative. I am still holding my fire axe. I attack her with the fire axe. Like, she attacked the captain barehanded. I immediately like swing my fire axe at her.
Here's the best part of this. Not only does it off a person, which is your goal.
Yes.
It also reestablishes your protectorship of the captain, showing that you're not all bad. Right. You're here to protect your friend.
Yes.
Right.
Protecting my friend.
Protecting my friend. So... with a fucking fire axe. Okay.
From someone who's just trying to punch them and run away.
Right. Do you kill them?
I don't kill them. They manage to block the attack, and then the captain ends up knocking her out.
Oh.
And then I'm like, well, I can't coup de grace her.
Right.
Yeah, I can't coup de grace her now. But she's knocked out.
That's a hard move.
And so we take her weapons from her, and then I take her key card because I'm like, we don't want her to go,
Have access to
to have
anything.
access to anywhere that we can't go. So I'm going to take her key card, which gives me access to wherever she can go.
Right.
And so then everyone's like, all right, we end up sedating her. And then
So that's 2 down.
That's 2 down. And I'm like, is she transforming? Because the last person that transformed, they became irrationally angry.
Right.
So that's what's happening here. She attacked the captain. We shouldn't wake her up.
Yeah.
So they're like, all right, we're going to keep her sedated. We're going to handcuff her to a medical bed.
Makes sense.
And I'm like, this is perfect. My mission is solving itself.
Right.
And then the medic is like, I just did some tests on myself. I am transforming. I'm going to put myself into cryo because I don't want to change. And hopefully in the future, somebody will have a cure.
So that's 3.
And I'm like, that's 3 down. And then he's like, I have uploaded all of my research to the computer and I'm sending it to you and the captain. And
oh my
like,
God.
What? This is perfect. Everything is going perfect. The only thing is that we at this point we can't repair the ship. The ship is starting to overrun, but we know that in the corporate suite where the corporate NPC is, there is an escape pod.
Right.
But it's locked behind the corporate door. So we go to talk to her. She has a camera outside. It's me and the captain. We are the only I can't transform. We're the only non-transform besides the corporate lady in her suite. And so she tells us to back up. So I take the captain's weapons and I back up and he stays at the door. She opens the door. She has a gun pointed at the captain and she says,
because he's the only one that can transform, right?
Yeah.
He's the only one that can be infected.
That's true. So she has a gun at him and she says, go get me those eggs that I had the other person get me and bring them to me. And then I'm leaving. I'm going to hop on the escape pod. You can come with me, but you have to get me those eggs.
Right.
And he's like, all right. And so she shuts the door again. We don't have access to her suite. So the captain's like, well, I'm going to go get those eggs, I guess. And then I say, Captain, I have an idea. Why don't you go wait with the eggs? Let me try this idea out. And he's like, all right. So the other weapon I have is an incinerator unit. And we had found barrels of fuel on a lower deck. So I go and I get one of the barrels and I put it directly in front of the door of her suite. And then I back up and I wait. And then she opens the door and she's like, all right, let's. And then I shoot the barrel and it explodes.
Oh.
And it's like napalm. She dies. And then I go back and I get the captain. And I'm like, problem solved, Captain. And he goes, why did you solve it like that?
Right. So then you kill the captain?
I didn't kill the captain.
What?
I said, all right. He goes, okay, so this escape pod only has room for 3. And it's like you, me, and then the 2 or 3 people that we got on cryo. So we have to figure out what to do. And so I go, well, I have a counter offer, Captain. And then I said, I work for Bionational. And then he immediately goes, oh, shit. And I said, I'm on a mission to collect data and to kill anyone who knows too much about the alien life form. And he immediately goes, I don't know anything. I don't know anything.
Right.
And I said, I would encourage you not to read any of that information that was sent to you because I think at this time you don't know enough to activate my protocol to kill. However, I do need to go kill the others. And he's like, could we just leave them? And I said, no. And the thing is that he was injured. I'm an android, so I have much higher strength, agility, and I have more than double the health that he does.
Oh my God, tell me he hung out his people.
So I'm also armed with an incinerator gun and I had a bolt gun.
Right.
And so I'm like, I'm going to kill them. You cannot stop me. I'm going to kill them. I'm going to take the information from Bionational. I will allow you to go on one of the escape pods, but don't stop me from killing the others. And he was like, okay, I'm going to get on the pod.
Oh my God.
So he gets in one of the pods. And then I go and I kill the others. I find the deactivated android that Wayland Yutani had, I decapitate it and take its head for the information that it has. I download all the information about the xenomorph, and then I get on the escape pod with the captain and we eject it. And so I won the game.
No, you didn't kill the captain. You didn't
I didn't
win.
kill the captain. I didn't think that he knew enough to activate my
You gotta kill
kill
him.
everyone. But
It's first off, okay, so all right. I like perfect way to play through that, by the way. Up until right at the very end, I have one critique. The
Yes.
only loose end
Mhm.
is the one that will get you every time. So you have to kill the captain. Or you have to at least constrain the captain and leave him to die.
Mhm.
Right? Though why not be proactive in this instance, right? You gotta off the captain. So off the captain, then go terminate the fucking cryo on everybody.
Yeah.
Seems like a solution that solves itself. Leaving the captain up is just a way for things to get worse. Also, you need to collect all of the logs.
I did.
That have your so that way you can go back out on another mission later.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I'm an android, so I assume they'll just like change what I look like, you know.
Yeah. Even then, though, I mean, it's just probably a good thing just to kill all the loose ends.
Yeah.
Why would you? I mean, because he could do anything. You don't know what he's planning. Like he could fucking decide that he's going to fuck up the escape pod and just ride this train to hell and back with you on it, like as a suicidal fucking gesture.
My knowledge of the captain from working with him for years was that he was sort of financially bound to work for Wayland Yutani. He didn't have a way out. He didn't even own his ship that ended up getting destroyed during the game.
There's no way.
He didn't have anything.
Sorry, maybe I'm just more ruthless, but there's no way that guy makes it. Dude, as soon as he went shit, I'd have been like, yeah, shit. And then I had to chop his fucking head right off. No fucking way. I like though that you slow played a bunch, right? Because I think that's a valuable part in any like plan of duplicity or espionage.
Yeah.
Is sometimes the situation solves your problem for you. You just have to ride it out. And the longer you don't act, the more reliable you are to the people around you. So like the fact that there is an existential danger on the ship means that you can just do nothing. And sometimes the person you're supposed to kill will just die from victim of happenstance.
Yeah.
You know? Hey, it just happens.
Sometimes they'll put themselves into cryo and then you just have to hit a button.
Sometimes they'll be walking down a hallway and get attacked by an alien and you just don't fight as hard to protect them.
Yeah.
And they just get ripped apart. And then you just barely get out rescuing somebody who has good access. And now you look like, you know, in a dire situation, you were the only person they could trust. And then you leverage that for a little while.
Yep.
I think that there's something really fun about changing the way games are played. We had this discussion before about good guys versus bad guys, and that after you play role-playing games for a long time, your perception of the kinds of things you would do are no longer a consideration for the types of role play that you can perform.
Yeah.
So maybe that was a little elaborate. Sometimes there are characters that are so shitty that you're like, I can't believe that they would do that. I would never do that.
Yeah.
But you have to play that character anyway. And I think for new players, it's hard to break that headspace.
Definitely.
Not for me, though. And I'll tell you, I think that, I don't know if it's from playing for a long time or whatever, but I can get myself into the headspace of any character as long as I'm given enough time to sort of get there, right?
Yeah.
Like, I just need to find their justification system. How do you justify the actions, no matter how reprehensible they might be? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like sometimes it's as simple as I like it, right? The character is just a fucking psycho.
Right. So I think with that, we should go to this week's episode. This is Return to Ravenloft, Season 2, Episode 9, Reflections on Time Gone By.
Picture's like, All right, you convinced me. Let's go to the ship.
What if we? I'm just thinking out loud. Like, what if we were to go to the place where you buried her and she wasn't there anymore? Wouldn't that be weird?
This was 10 years ago. I don't remember what road it was.
You also don't remember what mirror you walked out of.
She didn't walk out of a mirror. She's from here.
I know. Actually, she's from a small cottage off the skirts of a town, raised by her mother.
I grew up in an orphanage that was run by a hag who was eating some of the children.
Mm-hmm.
Elaine and Victor look at each other. That sounds like she's been reading the other Adri's journal.
Well, again.
Downstairs, shall we?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You guys step downstairs and they're looking at the mess.
I'm gonna pick up the arrows out of the people I fired them at as we walk past them.
Elena tosses a silver amulet over to Victor and he catches it. I don't know what this is. She's like, it was magic. All right. Pockets it.
Good eye, kid.
She gives a nodding approval. You can actually see out the windows once you guys get downstairs that there's somebody standing out there with the two young black dragons next to him. You see another two wizards next to them.
I'm going to walk out into the front door. I'm gonna like confidently walk to the front.
You see a man standing outside, markings on his face, a gold staff with a skull on it, red robe. So you violate my house?
I'm not here to talk to you. I'm here to talk to someone else. And I want to speak Draconic to the dragons.
They kind of...
What kind of dragons are they?
Black.
Young?
Wormling.
Wormling. I'm going to talk to them about the king of black dragons I met over 2,000 years ago. And say that he would never let mortals put them in chains.
The warlock says they do when there's a rod.
Don't worry, friends. I'll let you go. I'll free you.
Victor's like, you mean this rod? And he throws a half piece of a rod down the ground, rolling by your feet that seems to be destroyed.
I'm going to step on it.
The two dragons look down. They both look up at the warlock. You said you still had it. The warlock's like, how did he shatter it?
My friends, we may disagree on a lot of things. I'm speaking to the dragons now in Draconic. We may disagree on a lot of things. I understand that our natures are crossed. But one thing we can agree on is slavery is wrong. And I would not think negatively of you to take out your rages on your would-be master.
He begins to back up, realizing that his control over the two of them has been gone. That his bluff's been called.
Kestrel does not speak Draconic, so she can only watch what's happening, but she's going to kind of lean over to Rain and be like, I don't think we're going to get a good fight out of this.
You were wanting to fight with the dragons and the wizards? I mean, yeah. After what we just went through upstairs, you wanted more?
Yeah.
Because I feel about a third as healthy as I did before we started this whole mess. And I don't know if I'm really up for another round
I
of
could-
fisticuffs just yet.
I could definitely do some more killing.
Okay.
Relena leans over to Victor. I'm so glad we have the charms against the memory of the curse now. Right?
Friends, I leave him to you. I'm going to turn around and walk back inside and close the door.
You hear what sounds like agonizing as the smell of acid fills through the broken windows, and you can smell flesh rotting and things moving and scraping and clawing and screams of pain from outside.
So, the mirror.
Victor's like, we got to go through them into the barn, downstairs, down into the bottom.
Oh, well, we might want to maybe
Yeah.
take a minute.
Hold your nose, at least.
Victor begins casting and holding the amulet.
Good
That's
move with the
interesting.
rod.
Thank you. I needed the pieces for the other rod.
Shaftcraft.
He holds it. Hey. It's an amulet of silver beasts. Controls lycanthropy control. He puts it in his pocket.
Oh, that'd be
Eh.
nice to have. Maybe we could get something to come out of stuff.
What? Oh, okay. I gotta take 2 steps away.
He doesn't
from
know
it,
about
don't I?
you.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and he
I
won't
hope
figure
not.
it out. He's really not that bright.
It's like, oh, okay, well that's a thing.
But
Although,
not like controlling the lycanthrope, more as in the lycanthrope can control his shaping.
Oh.
oh,
All of a sudden, he's got 2 steps a little closer.
It allows the non-natural borns to control themselves.
Gotcha. So Victor, is it?
Yes, and you are, since introductions didn't make it that far.
Yeah. Well, there just was a lot going on amongst the 4 of you. I didn't want to cut in. So introductions. Raintree Shay, captain of the Sea Bitch. I inadvertently gotten mixed up in something that I wasn't expecting. 10 years ago, I took, the former version of her and her father from Nevichar Springs to Murtira Bay. And have spent time kind of going back and forth, and came back looking for her and him, your teacher.
It's not very whatever. It's fine. We're arguing semantics.
To help me with a problem I have that I thought they would be specifically skilled at taking care of. And that hasn't quite gone according to plan, but I'm hoping now that we found you in this houseboat ship that he's been talking about the whole time, that maybe
Oh, I knew he was going to be mad.
he was not pleased, to say the least.
No, dude. He gets mad when like an item in his room gets moved. You think what happens when we move the entire room?
Oh,
Well, you don't take care of the things that you have. And I'm going to gesture at his arm.
He kind of gets somber for a second. Yeah, well, sacrifices are made for your ship. Be happy.
Yeah. So, being that I captain a ship, I also am interested in seeing what this flying house thing does.
Rain.
How it works.
That reminds me.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to reach in my sleeve again and pull out.
Oh boy, is it fashion time again?
No, it's paper. It's a big roll of paper.
Oh shit! Don't sign a contract.
I'm going to.
Don't sign it.
Relena.
Don't.
Hold on. First off, DM. Don't add context to things. You don't get to do that.
That was Victor.
He said, "Don't sign it." Why? Because you can't write left-handed. All right. Relena, can you bring the table over here, please?
She's like, I'm interested to see how bad this goes, and she brings the table over.
See, look at that, Victor. Fantastic. That's exactly what. Thank you. And I'm going to kind of pat her on the shoulder.
I just want to see how bad this goes. How much of a soul you can steal.
She must be mine because she's done everything properly the first time without having to be told a bunch. So
She's like,
I'm going to
somebody's the favorite.
I'm
Fuck
gonna
off.
roll out the sheet and put the inkwell at the top to hold the paper down. Like I had prepared this after we had met. This is a
Did you?
contract for employment.
I'm sorry for what now?
For employment. Working for me. I would like to hire your services for a year.
Well, I don't know that I was necessarily looking for a job per se.
But I was looking for you to have this job. So that's why I've created a contract and why I'm going to reimburse you. See, if you wanted to do it, I wouldn't have given you money for it. You see how this works? Also, I give you a position that maybe a person from your trade might be able to dine out on for quite some time. Only pirate to ever sail the skies. Now, have a long history of having nice titles, but Sky Pirate sounds nice. Never had that one myself, but
so what are you proposing here that you're going to
need a capable sailing. I am going to unplug this Google Home.
See, even Google's telling me not to sign the contract.
And she ain't saying it no more. Okay, so I could use a capable sailor to captain my ship.
So this ship that flies.
Yes.
That you've been looking for with great interest since the two of us met.
Absolutely.
You're just going to turn it over to me.
No, hold on. I didn't say you could turn it over. I said you could captain the ship.
Oh. Okay. Because typically captaining a ship and ownership of said ship do kind of come hand in hand with where I come from.
Well, not where I come from.
Okay.
Think of it as the materials required to complete your service.
Okay. And what would I get in return for said services after 1 year?
Well, you'd have access first to all of the benefits of a professional training. Second, I'm sure we could throw
when
that
he says that,
in.
I look over at Victor and to get an indication of the quality of said training.
Well, considering he was going to be dead and now he's not, pretty good. Literally grants life to the dead.
Okay.
Look, I've been doing this for a long time, and I'm going to kind of smirk while I look at those two. And there are a lot of benefits from working with a professional, not the least of which is, and oftentimes you don't have to fight dragons.
Okay, I really didn't have to do a whole lot of dragon fighting before, but
you are about to. Context becomes important.
I see.
The things when I say the benefits, the favors that you will receive for being under my employ are incalculable. It's difficult to write down exactly, but you will notice. And at the end of the day, people will know your name.
Well,
and that's better than money.
To a degree, yeah.
But there will be money.
Oh, well, there would have to be. Otherwise, you'd lose me at that one.
Well, just being in my proximity tends to come great wealth.
I see. Well, do you mind if I read this contract over? You see, in my past, I've seen lots of sailors sign contracts for their captains and didn't always quite work out in their favor. One, because the captain loaded it with a lot of fine print that was towards his favor. And two, most of them couldn't read to begin with. So,
nobody that works for me is not able to read. Not anymore. I did that once and it's not my thing.
Gotcha. Okay. I don't know. I came searching for you to basically ask you to, well, not necessarily be in my employ, but help me. So this is a bit of an unexpected turning of the tables, as it were.
How about Victor? Would you say that you owe me?
Depends what the score is these days.
I'm thinking that it would go a long way to taking a little bit off the edge of your debt, which is insurmountable at this point, I would imagine. You hand me that amulet.
Reaches in his pocket, lobs it over.
Now, Rain, are you aware of what this is?
What does this line here mean about that you have all rights to my organs in perpetuity?
If you die, I could use them.
But this says nothing
For
about
science.
death.
Victor says.
Look, sometimes access is required. If you're dying and I don't have access to your organs, how can I save you?
Didn't necessarily think that would need to be under contract, but all right. And I just kind of keep flipping pages at the moment.
I'm very thorough. And also it's one long scroll. I learned that from contract double.
Gotcha. I'm just kind of rolling through the scroll then, as it were.
I like how we just glid past the fact that I learned that from a contract double.
Yeah.
Relena, when you say devil, Relena, I her and Victor make slight contact for a moment.
We'll get to that later, guys. I saw it.
Where exactly is Utah, and why is this void there?
You can't do anything in Utah.
Oh.
Nope, not touching it.
And this is for a term of a year?
A year, and then at the end of that year, you can choose whether or not you'd like to sign again and continue your service, or whether you'd like to go your separate ways.
I see.
In which case, the ship will then no longer be under your employ.
Oh, no, I understand that. But I mean, I have my own ship with my own crew. I do kind of have to.
Fairly certain that you're going to not want anything to do with that after you've seen this one.
Okay, well then can we hold the contract until I see said ship?
Well, then I'll hold the amulet.
Well, okay, I would. Did I know what the amulet was when it was first shown? Because I know I joked about it, but I don't know that I would have known that's what that amulet did.
You can roll a Arcana check.
Oh yeah, that's gonna go over. Like
sorry, I just went with it for the story.
No, I know.
I hope that's all right, D-Walk.
That's fine.
Yeah,
I would just action. I use the help action because I want him to know what it does.
I rolled an 18, a natural 18. That's as good as it gets.
Yeah, you recognize the amulet.
Oh.
Keep the tuna in the can, as it were.
That's fine. You just hold that. That's of interest. Hold the contract. Let's just take a look at the boat, because I'm also not one to just jump into something unless I know exactly what I'm getting myself into here. And yes, it's a boat per se, but I have never flown anything, much less a boat. I'd hate to take on a contract that I can't fulfill. I'm intrigued though. So you have my interest.
All right. Well, then here, you hold on to the contract so you can look over it.
That's fine. I'd like to do that as we.
And I'll just keep this right here with me.
That's fine.
Hold my sleeve up and drop it right down the sleeve.
Okay. Those are some interesting sleeves you have, by the way.
Yes.
See his other coat.
All right.
You said you should see his other coat?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, yeah.
What is that one? Sentient or something?
No, I would never do that again.
Wait again.
Sentient is not my cup of tea.
Oh,
We don't do sentient.
Really?
Okay.
Because you used to talk to that sword all day long.
I look, and do you remember how pleasant it was? There we are.
It was pleasant for the rest of us.
So we're gonna take a look at one of those nifty little mirrors now, huh?
Oh, goody.
Yes.
Yeah.
Has the acidic bubbling ended outside?
Yeah. The dragons have walked away, leaving a bloody mask of bloody mess of acid and blood and bones
Ugh,
and
gross.
what hasn't degenerated.
Don't step in that.
All right. Let's get this mirror.
Yeah, let me go grab a vial from upstairs. We may need that acid later. Never know when dragon acid might come in handy.
I'm gonna pull one out of my. Here.
Thank you, sir. Goes over, dips it, wipes it on what's left of one of the cloaks and corks it. Slips it into a pouch. Shall we?
So what does this mirror do?
Shows you a reflection.
What does this mirror do that makes you so interested in it?
Have
It
I
opens the
introduced you to
door.
Relena yet? Cass, this is my daughter, Relena.
Right.
She is an apt student who has a hard time keeping weapons in her hands. Why don't you discuss? Maybe you could teach her some tricks about how to hold on to weapons so she doesn't have to spend half an hour after every fight picking them up. And I'm
Or
going
I
to
just
walk
keep
away.
a supply of weapons on the ship and not worry about pulling them out of bloody corpses.
Relena, nice to meet you. What does this mirror do that he's so interested in it for?
Damn it. I was really hoping that was going to work.
Well, let's see. They span doorways between universes that has opposite or even worse versions of yourself in them.
Oh, so there's like another Kestrel.
Yeah, definitely.
You just hear a grunt from the other side.
She's looking back.
So you want to go there?
Hell no. Just no. I'm fine here.
So are you breaking this mirror?
No. I say.
Victor has looked over. We already have one. Unless this is one of the other ones.
We don't know exactly how they function yet. We don't know if there are certain directions you can travel down the line or if you can.
Actually, we found two types of mirrors. There's ones that are single doorways, and there's ones that, if you know how to control, you can use it to change doorways, if that makes sense. Align to different ones. But we've never found one of those intact.
Let's get this mirror. We're going to talk more about this in a moment.
So you guys head to the barn, and Victor kicks the hay aside enough to show out the door down below. Actually, no, it would have been uncovered. So you guys open the latch, and Victor motions. You're taller now.
Yep. And you're still less valuable, so you lead.
Age before beauty.
I'm going to look at both of us and be like, I think you might have just made this worse for yourself. I'm younger.
Lena
and
walks by.
far
Actually,
more
no,
attractive.
he's actually cuter than you. Shut up. And goes down the stairs first.
Wait, what just happened? Like, Javier is stunned. He's like,
What? Do I hear banjos somewhere? What?
but he's an idiot with one arm. What do you see in this guy?
She just keeps going down. Victor makes his way down one-handed.
How's he do that?
It's a lopsided cartwheel.
Look for that in your next Stephen King novel there, Ray. Walking downstairs one-handedly.
But it's not stairs, it's a trap door, so it's a ladder. Right.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's why
I
that's
shouldn't
why
have
I
said
was
stairs.
Okay.
So he
Sorry.
tumbles down the ladder one-handedly.
It takes him a minute. I've climbed stairs with a ladder with one hand before carrying a 50-pound bucket in the other. It's doable.
Mage hand.
All right.
It's not fun, but it's doable.
I'm going
The
to
mage hand would
listen.
be awesome if the mage hand actually can support his body weight.
Yeah.
I'm going to hold a finger up while he's climbing down. I'm going to like for everyone to be quiet for a minute. And I'm going to give it just about like 30 seconds. Okay, we're good. And then we can all start going down the ladder. Just want to make sure.
All right.
All right, go to that map. As you guys enter the room ahead of you, if you look to the bottom of the room, the room's 20 by 20 with a ladder, 4 walls around it, 2 torches on the southern wall, and between the 2 torches is a metal gate.
Open or close?
Closed.
Somebody want to handle that?
I was waiting to see if any of our traveling partners knew what to do, but I suppose I can crack that open if it's locked. Is it locked?
I don't know. No one's tried it yet.
Oh, okay. Well, I try and open the gate. Actually, no. Correction. I do not do that. I would like to check for traps.
All
He's
right.
already learning. Fantastic.
Sorry, I don't normally play rogue, so I forgot my roll for a second. That's a 23 perception, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Do I find any traps?
You find a switch in the lock.
Oh, okay.
It leads a wire that goes down
Mhm.
below the door into the ground.
Am I aware of what kind of trap this would be given its design?
It seems to it's a pull cord that seems to trigger something farther down the way.
So beyond the door?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I alert everyone that it's booby trapped and we'll need to disable before we move on. Otherwise, it's going to trigger something over on the other side. I suppose then I need to disable said device, which is what, a sleight of hand? Or what would that
Sure.
be?
I'll take a side hand.
Oh. Help.
Yeah, help action.
Better. 23.
All right.
The man who makes it better just by being around.
So, I mean, you can either take your time and actually work on the thing and release the pressure in the lock, or you can trim the wire below. Which would you prefer to do?
Do I have a sense of which one? Either way, I'm going to disable it, but does one of them which one would allow me to reset it?
The lock.
Then
Because if you cut the wire at the bottom,
wire,
there's no.
that makes sense. Yeah, so I will do the lock. Just in
All
the
right.
event that I want to put this back the way I found it.
All right. So yeah, no, you easily disable the
Clickety
the pressure in the clock and then the lock.
Easily. I like
Easily.
how that came out with the help action.
Well, it was a 13 before. That probably would have failed, but I would have blown my face off. That would have been nice.
See?
Yeah.
You sign that contract, you can have this all the time.
Oh.
The hallway goes down another 20 feet. It's about 5 feet wide. There's 2 torches in the hallway, equally spaced apart, and then there's another door at the south.
As we're heading down the hallway, I'm looking to figure out if I can determine what would have happened had I tripped that trap. Do I see?
Give me perception or investigation.
We'll do perception because that is better. That's a 13.
Help action.
That's a 29.
Since we're not in combat, there's no
All right.
like turn structure.
Yeah.
Here, so.
29.
And the floor very
This contract is looking awesome, right?
very just
Looking
in the
good.
floor. You see these little nozzles hidden in the dirt,
Oh.
and they're even painted actually to match the dirt. They're actually
Ooh.
brass nozzles that are painted to pretty much closely match the dirt and
So
whatnot.
this was going to spray some sort of liquid all over us if we had. Well, no, because this would have trapped. This would have set off. Oh. Do I pick up any kind of particular? I'm going to bend down and try and catch a whiff to see if I can determine, like, do they contain some sort of incendiary liquid, or is it toxic, or I don't know if I'll be able to do such a thing.
All right. How close do you get?
Well, the chemist in Nathan says that he's going to stand about 2 feet away and waft it towards his nose.
I made
Okay.
a video, a home video that I did for my OnlyFans called "The Chemist in Nathan." It's about a man in a lab coat who really likes Nate.
Oh,
Edit
So-
or not, whatever. Your call. Dealer's choice.
all right. So you whiff the air up
Yeah.
towards yourself.
Yep.
Okay. Did you roll a perception at first, or did you roll a
no,
investigation?
I will roll another perception for that.
Okay.
That's a 15.
All right.
I'm gonna
And
look at him. Hold on, I'm gonna look at him and be like, "Hey,
Hmm.
why don't you try this instead?" Help action.
So, no
18.
pun intended. Back to the encounter you had earlier before the game, but you catch a whiff of gas.
Okay. So this probably would have ignited and potentially blown the place sky high. All right. Good to know. Okay. I'll alert the party and say just stay clear of the sides of this hallway.
Well, they're actually in the
Okay.
floor, aiming up.
Oh, they're in the floor. Oh, so like they're not on.
So
they're
you're
not
standing on
sides.
top of them.
Oh, okay. So they're all over. Okay. All right. In which case, okay, I'll just let everyone know and just say tread lightly.
All right. You reach the other. Do you go to the door at the end of the hall?
Is that the only place we can go?
Yeah, it's a 20-foot hallway, 5 feet wide.
Yeah, I suppose we're going to go all the way down to the other side. Sure.
Okay. And you reach the door.
D-Walk, I want to
Mhm.
do a series of rolling perception checks just in case my contractee continues the roll system that he's got going.
Hmm. This is on the job training, as you would call it.
Man, 3 times in a row. you
Look,
passed the check.
I
just
look,
saying.
I know. I'm rolling single digits on the first roll. Don't ask me why. Fucking
Don't worry.
dice.
Don't
All
worry.
right.
This is what professional training is all about.
I see. Okay.
I did this for a long time.
So
I
keep telling
made
me.
a lot of people way worse than you. Way better.
Okay. I'm glad there was a second part to that sentence there, because that would've been-
I
that would've
have
been weird if you-
ruined so many players. Unknown player rolled Arcana check. Who rolled that check?
I didn't.
That was D-Walk.
Oh.
D-Rock's out here rolling checks.
Uh,
Was that you, Rachel?
yeah.
We had a whole
Was it-
game called Arcanta.
That's right.
Well, I'm not
Uh.
gonna help action that one because I don't even know what the fuck just happened.
Yeah. Okay, so we're down to the end of the hallway. There is a door.
Yes.
Is
yes.
that I assume that door is closed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, seeing that the first door was trapped, I'm pretty sure they stopped there and decided to leave everything else unchecked.
Yep.
But I'm going to roll a perception check anyway.
All right.
I can do this one by myself. It's a 29.
You see the same wiring mechanism in this one.
Oh, okay. Well, I already know how to disable that, so I'm
All
going
right.
to go ahead and do the same thing.
All right. As you do, you hear the levers below click,
Oh, fuck.
and the gas begins to release.
You
You can do this one on your own.
So who's all in the hallway with them?
Everyone.
So
And I helped.
Ryan, Rain, give me a check to redo the lock.
Sleight of hand. Yes, let's make that a sleight of hand.
Do I want to roll a check real quick?
18.
All right,
Did I fix it?
you got it relocked. You
Okay.
guys do smell enough gas. It does hit the torches enough to whiff the top of the place for a second, but
Ooh.
not enough to engulf the whole hallway.
Okay. Well, that's
Do I got an investigation of 22 total?
All right.
I want to look at these and see whether or not when the gas was coming out, if they were pressurized gas, it was being pushed out, or if it was just releasing a valve that had it lift naturally. Just
So
by
you're
the
actually-
motion, did it shoot out like it was pushed out, or did
Yes.
it come out slowly, just lift up?
It pushed out.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
so same kind of trap, but opposite effect.
Mm,
Because
Or
if I
it's-
disable,
Or it's disabled in a different way.
Kestrel.
yeah,
Yeah.
Hold on. Will you come here for a minute?
Okay.
D-Walk, was the gas poisonous smelling? Or was it
No.
just like
more flammable smelling.
right?
the chemist in me.
Genasi have dark vision?
Sorry.
I'm just like gas doesn't smell.
Sorry.
Genasi have dark
It's
vision?
okay. Does Genasi have dark vision? No, we do not.
Okay.
I don't. Do I? No, I don't. No.
In the event that it looks like maybe he's going to mess up again,
Hmm.
we should put out these torches right away.
Yeah.
So that way we don't, explode.
We could do that now.
Well, then he wouldn't be able to do his checks to disable it. I mean, I could do it, but I
Victor
think it's-
snaps his finger and Rain's face glows.
There.
He casts a light on his face.
A fucking nightlight now?
now he's just blinded. He can't see anything.
Yeah. All right. I suppose that'll work. So I guess I'll make another perception check to see if I can figure out why the second lock did not behave the way the first one did. That's a 21.
Help.
Okay.
Okay. That's a 20. Sorry, a 19. My bad. Math is hard.
All right.
21's my better roll.
You start looking at it, and it's starting to look more like a two-lock system. As in, if one door's open and they both open,
Oh,
since you have the lock unset on the other side,
so I need to go back and reset it.
close the door and reset
It's a
it.
damn good thing I didn't cut that wire then, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll go back. I'll go back to the first door we came in and I'll lock it behind us.
I haven't used this trap in probably 15 years.
I feel honored and partially stupid.
Oh, I have another one for you guys later that I pulled on Matt
yay.
and Bubba and fucked them up.
Well, I'm going to be rolling perception at every single entryway.
I love we did this one where D-Walk had put some patterns on a door frame and it was like a riddle to open the door. And it just like for whatever reason it just like clicked in my head like what it might mean. I was like, okay, do this. I put my hands up like this, put my hands like this, put my hands like this, is like the door opens and I'm like, walk right in. I was like, pretend like you intend for this to work. Just be cool. Just be cool and make it look like it was intentional.
All right. So I'll go back. I'll re-engage the first lock and then come back and disengage the second one.
All right. All right. Yeah. No issue. You can open the door and
Okay.
walk in.
Uh-huh. All right, doors open. What do we see?
All right. You see a room that's 25 by 25 feet, a giant rug on the floor, lights across the room, paintings, 2 tables, one and two of the corners, and then the mirror standing uncovered across the way. Tall, silver framed, emeralds around it.
That's a fancy mirror.
Uncovered.
Is that bad?
It's
They
not
don't know what
ideal.
it is.
Adri,
The fraternity member
Kestrel,
I tortured didn't know
Yeah.
what it was, and he said they didn't know.
you have any sheets in your bag?
They have sheets.
Like blankets, cloth. Large rectangles of cloth.
I have my
Sure.
bedroll.
You mean to tell me you don't have any? Just can you look just to see if they're in there? There's no way
No.
she unpacked that entire. Didn't put any. I don't think that's a memory thing. I think it's like an innate thing that you can't help.
I open my backpack.
She's like, holy shit. There are sheets in there.
Where'd all these sheets come from?
I take out the contract and I roll it like this, and I go, "This might be big enough to cover it up."
It covers everything else.
Victor's kind of turning his head sideways to see if the hand pops out of the bag.
She's got it in a cage now.
Oh,
Well, I had it. It should be a lift up the backpack. There should be like a little wicker cage like hanging off of it, and that's where the hand usually stays unless it escaped again.
no. Victor's, can I see your hand?
Be careful. He's not good with those.
The undead one.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Mind if I
Um,
take it out of the cage?
Sure. It probably won't like you. It doesn't like anyone.
He opens it up and it crawls onto his arm. It's been a while. How you
Aw,
been?
It's weird.
it's hand daddy.
Yeah, that's the other weird part. You look at Relena. This is Yoromir's Ludo hand.
There's more than one Ludo.
Oh yeah.
Ugh.
And your Ludo cut this Ludo's hand off.
He's not my Ludo,
He puts
okay?
it back in the
All
cage.
right, he's not my Ludo. He's some weirdo that follows me around.
So he's here?
He's not here, but I
Why-
see him every once in a while.
Oh if he's not here. Hold on. He stops for a second.
He's doing it again. This is a little brain talk. He likes to do this a lot. It was our fault, but we leaned on it a lot in the last time we
Oh, he's in trouble. But he has it. God damn, he won't stop talking.
Are you messing? You know him?
He has her journal. But fucking Ebb has him. Shit. We gotta go.
The mirror is more important.
To you.
Yeah, and to you as well. All right, I'm gonna any luck with that sheet? No sheets in there?
No.
You would have packed your own bag, so. All right.
There's a rug on the floor you can use.
Is there a bed in this room?
Victor looks, there's a slight gate on the one wall and he looks through it. There's like 6 sarcophaguses in the next room. I guarantee somebody's wrapped in something.
Yeah, but those would be old.
Well, that and
What about the
sarcophagus.
painting?
So
Paintings good? So you said there are 2 paintings on the wall, right? Pretty
Mhm.
large.
3 actually. 2 of them are about 2.5 feet wide. The other one is almost 8 feet wide.
The 8 feet wide one, does it look good?
I mean, it's painting of a wizard and, standing on a mountain with lightning and stuff behind it.
Oh.
Yeah, that would look bitchin' on the side of a van.
What about the frame? Is it hung up in a frame?
Yeah.
Is it
You,
stretched
you, you can,
canvas?
yeah, you can cut it out.
Yeah, I'm going to take the frame off. Deframing something's easy. And then I'll cut the canvas from the back of the board so that I don't ruin the...
Okay.
And I'll wrap it around the mirror.
I assume that's supposed to keep something out.
You
Or
want to touch it and find out
in.
what happens?
Say one
I
more
don't.
time.
You want to touch the mirror and see what happens?
I'm not touching it. I'm going to
No,
wrap it.
I'm talking to Rain.
Do I?
That's how they activated it the first time. And I ain't got enough blood magic left in me to open or close it. So
Everything I've heard about these mirrors so far has led me to believe that they're bad. So no, I think I'll
not.
just no pun
If you
intended.
believe in the balance, then for every call it dark universe for much less of a more intelligent way to identify them, there has to be another universe that has a light version. There has to be a balance to it all. Darkness doesn't exist without light. Thus, for every quasi evil or whatever one of is out there, there has to be another world. The only issue is it doesn't seem like the light ones are traveling. It's only the dark ones that seem to have found the mirrors and travel.
Okay, well, I think I'd prefer that if there were an evil version of any one of us in this room, and I use that term in various capacities depending upon the person. I don't want to unleash anything in here. If you say that we need to get this thing out of here, then go ahead and wrap it up, and I'll help you carry it out.
Dick in the other worlds.
What?
I met another version of me.
Of me?
He was interesting. No,
Oh,
Victor.
ah, okay. Yeah, I don't particularly care to meet a dick version of myself.
Ayo.
I will help in whatever capacity I can help in, as long as I know that I'm not going to do something stupid and release something from the mirror or get sucked into the mirror or whatever it is the mirror is going to do.
Kavir is probably the best time to tell you. The dark her's not dead.
Dark her.
He eye glances at Adri. She's not here, but
well, we'll have to deal with that when we have a moment. Right now, let's get this mirror out.
Rather not go there. So,
I'm just gonna wrap it in the painting.
No, that's fine.
Turn it sideways.
Relina's picking the lock to the sarcophagus area.
Do we need to stir up any more trouble right now?
Cass is gonna walk over and stand near Erlina. She's got her hand like on the hilt of her sword. She's like, maybe there's a vampire in there and we can kill it.
Wow. You are not like the journals. Pops it. She begins to go, moving sarcophagus is enough to check inside and then checking for valuables.
Anything good?
Mm-hmm. Hey, Victor, fossilized eyeball. Ooh, gimme.
Any arms in there?
Mage hand flips you off again.
Thanks for listening to Freelance Heroism. We really appreciate you coming in and listening. We also really appreciate all the people who support our Patreon. By supporting the Patreon, you're going to get behind the scene uncut clips that you'll get to see sort of like maybe the tissue behind some of the edited, cleaned up content. And you'll get that whenever we have a big block of it to drop. as well as any updates or any information behind the scenes stuff that we think the Patreons would like to know. So if you'd like to support our Patreon and help us continue making the high quality, high octane podcast that you've come to expect, go ahead to patreon.com/freelance_heroism. Thank you. And as usual, the invoice is in the mail.
I
It's
have
a
no idea.
Mario, and Luigi Mario. I can do a better Mario than that motherfucker.
So we'll see. But
I dip
Jack-
my balls in pesto. Woo!
Hey, princess, look at my pepperoni. Who wants to see the Italian sausage?
I'm just saying, the reason she's up in that castle, she's been doing shrooms, if you get what I'm saying.
She's been licking Toad. Is that what?
That's what I'm
Ew.
saying. That's what I'm saying. Look, man, Mario's not a hard voice.
No, it's not.
No.
Everyone give me a woohoo!
I'll pass.
Give me any Mario line. It's a Mia.
I've been given
Mario.
plenty of them, I thought.